know of the raid of my house. Men died. They are aware of it. My cousin died. As a result of it, my father and my mother died of the trauma from it. They know, they have the video. And they go to church, some of them. They go to the mosque, some of them, and they don't know who we are. They don't know that the anointing of the Almighty Elohim is upon us. They have no idea. And when they don't want to, I say to them, we are in a very wonderful, I am in a very wonderful company. Pharaoh went after Moses. Is that true or false? Herod went after baby Jesus. Joseph and Mary took Jesus to Egypt. They fled to Egypt. Pharaoh went after Moses. Is that true or false? Herod went after baby Jesus. Joseph and Mary took Jesus to Egypt. They fled to Egypt. I traveled to America to speak to the Pharaoh went after Moses propaganda organization. Is that true? But I want to let them understand, the newspapers in the zoo, Vanguard, Punch, and all these idiots writing junk all the time, that I am in a very good company. When you talk about those who escaped or who survived the state-sponsored assassination, when you mention Moses, you mention Jesus, you mention Prophet Muhammad, and you mention Nnamdi Kanu. Now you understand it, don't you? Those who are killing and abducting you in Kaduna are Fulani people, according to Apostle Emmanuel Bako. But out of fear and timidity, Yoruba newspapers will not write about or write against Fulani Janjaweedism, because they want a pot of porridge in 2023 with Tinubu presidency. Typical black people. When their wives are pregnant, the editor of Punch newspaper, when the wife is pregnant, she will go to America to go and give birth. And I ask them, in that America you're going to, is Biden that is now coming in a Yoruba man? But in the zoo, Nigeria, you're writing about a Yoruba presidency. It must come to the south. Those morons in the east are writing about Igbo presidency. But your families are in America and all over Europe. Is Boris Johnson from your village? People want a country that is run properly based on policies, not the ethnicity of the idiot in Asok. So very simple. Shagari was a good man. Sheikh Shagari was a wonderful man. He's a Fulani, but he was a good man. No? I'm saying my own, how I see it. Do you know that the best development that ever happened in the East happened when, or should I say, after the miracle of Dr. Michael Obara? There was a period of decay and disaster until Shagari went in and Mbakwe went in. Mbakwe will go to Lagos to go and plead with Shagari. Do you know there was no time that Mbakwe actually went to Lagos and came back empty-handed? They call him the weeping governor. But anytime he meets Shagari and asks for something, Shagari will always give it to him. Do you see that? Some of you are very small. Iguacha Enugu Expressway was very, very beautiful, actually. Shagari built it. Fulani man. Because he had good policies. It didn't matter who was in Asoro or in Dodam Barracks or whatever, the State House or whatever. Rubbish, they called it then. The policies were good. Even when Mbakwe asked us to pay survival levy to build him a state port, everybody did. You can see that Mbakwe was working. It was actually a Yoruba man, the last military administrator of Imo State before Mbakwe took over. It was him that started the Zinachi clay factory. A Yoruba man, a military administrator of Imo State. You know what this man did? This man, they have the same ceramic factory in his village in Yoruba land. I've forgotten his village. But go and Google it. The last military administrator handed over to Mbakwe. The man said, oh, I have this factory in my village. It's very good. Oh, they use clay. They make bricks. They make roof tiles. They make everything. It's wonderful. Oh, now I am the military governor of Imo State. I want to do something here. The man actually started the project in Ezinnachi. A Yoruba man, Yoruba military governor of Imo State. And what am I trying to prove? That it doesn't matter where you come from. The policies you pursue is what matters. A Yoruba man started the very beautiful Ezinnachi factory. Mbappe completed it. And some idiots ruined it. Turned everything upside down. Look at it today. It's moribund. What am I saying? That people must stand up to say the truth. When you see the truth, you must speak it. You know, we are black people. Some of us are very demonic. We are possessed by a demon of greed, envy, hatred, and jealousy. It's in us. We are black people. Nobody can take it away from us. Some people must be envious. They must be jealous. They must have hatred in them. They must be horrible. That is who they are. You can't change them. But what we are preaching this very evening is that no Fulani group has been proscribed. The wretched chattering classes in the zoo, infrastructure, and I asked them which building is good in the zoo in Lagos that was destroyed. They said, oh, Samuel went to show Yusuf Mohammed in Asarok, the project they're making. What buildings do you have? When you go to Dubai, you will bow in shame. What things do you have? I ask you. You have nothing. Absolutely nothing. And the revolution must come back. It will come back, of course. But not revolution to save. If, I have said it before, if people gather, if by the time Shoinka and even Tinubu was campaigning for Sovereign National Conference in pre-1999, the Third Republic, that they actually sat down and people voted for a new constitution. Who am I? I'm a Democrat. Who am I to say no to Nigeria? I can't say no to Nigeria because even our own people voted for it. But nobody voted for Nigeria. Lugard came with Flora Shaw after drinking champagne in the evening. She was drunk. And she said, darling, why don't we call people niggers? They are niggers. It's Nigeria. They say Nigeria. And that's your name. And you're not ashamed of yourselves. Very sad indeed. Black is your black. When it comes to IPOB, even Igbo Biafran journalists will be at the forefront of condemnation. That when Fulani attack you, kill you, molest you, rape you, cut off your heads, nothing you can hear from them. All in an effort to tarnish the very beautiful, how should I say, impeccable image of the largest mass movement on the face of this very earth. IPOB, the largest in the whole world, but no. You saw men when they came out. Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 3, men. And as I wrote yesterday, and I will remind them today, if you're looking for us, please, if you're looking for Eastern Security Network, go into your nearest forest, and you get that answer that you're looking for. When people want to destroy us, they come into us and to look for traitors. As somebody wrote, some tribes can betray you 45%. But an Igbo betrayer is 100% betrayal. That is why you have them in Edo State, in Kogi State, in Benue State, everywhere, scattered everywhere. They come and they say to you, oh, you are only 5 southeastern states, Igbo states, 5 southeastern states, and idiots stupidly agreed. Leaving their brothers and sisters, and you think that God will be happy with you. And there's something happened in Israel. You know, when I want to make this comparison between Biafra and Israel, most people don't understand it. There's something happened in Israel. Do you know why Israel fell? Do you know why the Babylonians and the Romans took over Israel completely and destroyed them? Because in their stupidity, they were divided between the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. Together as one Israel, militarily they were very, very strong. After the death of Solomon, I think somebody said, I've forgotten his name, to your tent, O Israel, after fighting a war and winning it. To your tents, O Israel. Israel was divided into 2. The northern kingdom, Samaria, and the southern kingdom, Judea. And the enemies came and picked them off. It took them 2,000 years to recover from that stupidity. 2,000 years to recover from it. They come to our land They go to Anioma, they say Anioma is not Igbo. Even the name Anioma is Igbo, they say they're not Igbo. The idiots will agree. Some of them, not all of them. They go to Ikwere land. People who are from Nkwere, very clean and clear, answering Igbo names, we care, Meiji, everything. Oh, we are Niger Delta, we're not Igbo. Tell us what Niger Delta means. The idiot cannot tell you. Instead, he will hand over his brothers and sisters to Fulani Janjaweed to slaughter. The same thing that happened to Israel. It's all over the place. And the enemies came and took them over. What I'm saying to you is this. If not for IPOB, believe you me, by now, some of you will be answering Musa and Amina. I'm telling you, before God and man. We are the ones that stopped them in Ebony. All the years I've been telling you, we've been stopping them. You didn't believe me, did you? It's only now that we are now proving to the world what we can do. They cannot take Ebony State. Omani is a madman. They can't take Ebony State. We will all die there. They can't take Ebony State. And they know it anyway. They know. If you stand in our way, you will go down. Today they gave you another Janjaweed slave as your Hanese president. He doesn't know where he's coming from. He doesn't know where he's going. His job is to make sure that Fulani settlements continues in our land. He's a learned man. He claims he's a professor. He was the ambassador to USA, ambassador to Israel. And I asked him in Israel, who are the founding fathers in Israel? Who created Israel? Modern day Israel. Of course, it's God Almighty in heaven. Who created USA? God Almighty in heaven. He served in places where God created all those nations. He's coming back to support a project that was created by a man, a mortal flesh and named by a woman. And he's a professor. And he plans to support his good friend, Ibrahim Gambari. You know, they're very close. I don't know how Fulani Janjaweed managed to do this to us. They always speak idiots. They get Yoruba papers and some Igbo stupid journalists to write about them glowingly, and that's it. Apex Igbo organization is basically an extension of Fulani Yetiala Janjaweed organization. They kill your children. You cannot come together to form a security outfit. You want to do state by state. But everywhere else, people band together as a region to float security outfit. Now that we have done that thing you weren't able to do, to support it is a problem. Because the masters in the north will be upset. They'll be very, very angry. Now you see how stupid some of them are. But some of you may still go ahead and support them. That is your business. The Ohanese election is illegitimate and cannot be recognized anywhere in the world. Instead, I'm canvassing very seriously for World Igbo Congress to take over the affairs of doing what is social-cultural, whatever, of Igbo people. That is my preference, and that's what I will push for. That World Igbo Congress should rise to the plate and do the needful. They must do the needful, because Ohanese will kill all of us. I'm telling the truth. These people are evil. They have the money, they give them money, they pay the Vanguard correspondent in Enugu. They pay Guardian correspondent in Owerri to write an Apex. Meanwhile, we are all dying. The Fulanis have installed Obiozo, their stooge. I must make a Vanguard correspondent in Imo and Sundry that we do not recognize Ohanese and their throne and Vyushu. World Igbo Congress should replace them immediately. They are nothing. The same way they used Zeke against Ojukwu. After composing the Biafra national anthem, Dr. Azikiwe jumped ship and joined Nigeria. Because they promised him that one day he will be the head of state. Some of you don't know that Azikiwe was supporting Biafra until he jumped ship. The same promise they made to Awolowo. They also told Chief Awo that, oh, don't worry, one day he'll be president of Nigeria. Did that happen? No, it never happened. The only two Yoruba men that have ever sat at the helm of affairs in the zoo called Nigeria are those picked by Fulani people. Obasanjo was picked by the Fulani. So too was Shonekon after they annulled the win of Abiola, as if we do not know. They didn't stop there. They also used an anti-Biafran demon in the person of Obabiasika to try and finish off the job. Obabiasika, like Chimamanda Adichie, was an intellectual. He was a university of Ibadan, very, very learned. Obabiasika was very bright, very intelligent. And in order to prove to the British that he was detribalized. You know that stupid word, black buffoon. They start to talk nonsense. I don't see Biafra coming. They're not together. They're talking rubbish. Before the state of Israel was founded in 1948, the Jews all around the world were not together. They were not together. Go and read the book called Exodus. They were not together. The very prominent Jews in New York that had the money said no. In fact, they wanted to come and fight David Ben-Gurion. And at the port of Haifa, their ship was sunk. They brought arms to come and fight their own brothers, not to fight the Arabs that were attacking Israel from all corners and quarters. The same thing with us. Anybody who is a bit learned, if you write one or two things, you think you've arrived, and you can offer an opinion on Biafra, which you don't know. Very disappointingly, Chimamanda Adichie, I had regard and respect for, was talking to you. People said you should understand it the other way. That is pure rubbish. To tell me you believe in Nigeria and you're learned, you believe in Nigeria, you went to school and you studied, and you believe in something that was created as a limited liability company, more or less. The zoo, Nigeria company. A white man will decide a name of a nation for you, decide what to. Wasted education. That tells you all you need to know. Now I understand the reason why they never gave the Nobel Prize to Chinua Achebe. Now I know. Before I thought I knew, but I didn't. They did not give the Nobel Prize to Chinua Achebe because he failed to denounce Biafra. Britain knew that Chinua Achebe was a hardcore Biafran. They denied him the Nobel Prize and gave it to Wole Soyinka instead. He wrote more books than Wole Soyinka. He's known all over the world than Wole Soyinka because he's a Biafran. That global conspiracy against us. His works has been translated, is it 270? I don't know how many languages all over the world. Things fall apart. In fact, I suggest that Chimamanda goes back to read. Go back and read. Things fall apart. Achebe was more famous than you are. Chinua Achebe was more famous than Chimamanda. He was a Biafran. He died a very proud Biafran. You that came up, maybe because BBC gave you an award, maybe one glass ornament. You think you've arrived. You are now dining and drinking tea with white people. You now have opinion about Biafra. What do you know about Biafra? How can a people be united when they were defeated in a war of attrition? What I call the Third World War. What do you know about Biafra? The trauma and the psychological damage we suffered during the war because of treachery from those we never expected would betray us. I'm talking about if they cannot unite. That's England, you go to that place, they call it to read stories for little children. Is the president of that place from Igbo land? They're talking about Igbo presidents. Is Boris Johnson an Igbo man? But they give you an award, and they give you all the limelight you need all over the world. And you're talking rubbish about Biafra, rubbish that you don't know about. Let me remind you, the Jewish intelligentsia in US did not support Zionism. They never supported the methods and tactics of Ergon and Haganah. Go and read their history. They blew Britain out of that very place with dynamite. That was how Britain left Palestine. Britain was in charge of Palestine. It is their job to suppress the light of God. That is their job, doing the job of Lucifer, always. They were given what was called the Palestine Mandate. Britain, very, very sad. Do you know that the brigadier, who was the garrison commander, in fact, the overall commander of the British forces in Palestine, was a Jewish man. He was a Jew, a British Jew. He was commanding a foreign army in the land of God, in the land of his ancestors. And he was working for Britain, trying to suppress Haganah and Ergon. They were bombed out of Palestine. Should I say the land of Israel? That's not called Palestine anyway. Bombed out of the land of Israel. And rightfully so. You see omelette, egg, fried egg. You know that egg is very precious and very beautiful. Before you can make an omelette, you must break an egg. Do you understand what that means? If you don't know what it means, please go back. Go back, please. And study it very carefully. We are prepared to break as many eggs as possible to fry this very beautiful omelette that is Biafra. We don't listen to what people say. You can talk from now till the kingdom come, write your garbage in Punch newspaper, in Nation, in Vanguard. From now till the kingdom come, it means nothing to us. We continue what we are doing. You can buy over 1 or 2 saboteurs, that is entirely your business. We number in millions all over the world. In millions all over the world. As you know, the same way they used Okadibo to rubbish Zeke. I remember Okadibo in MPN calling Zeke a mosquito, or the rant of a mosquito, or whatever. The same people killed Chuba Okadibo. A very brilliant mind, once again. More recently, they now use the same criminals, now clamoring for Igbo presidency. You see them like Igbo presidency, Igbo presidency. You think they have something upstairs? They have nothing upstairs. All of them. Omahi wants to go. Omahi, yes, you want to go presidency. Oh, Ojo Sokalo, you want to go presidency. Oh, maybe even Mwobodo, you want to go presidency? Yes. Now let me ask you a question. When Ekwueme came out to contest in 1999, Igbo presidency, what did you do in Jos, Ojo Sokalo? You betrayed Ekwueme. You voted for Obasanjo. Jos PDP convention in 1999. So that time, Igbo presidency wasn't good. Wasn't good enough. It's now that you want it, yes. And now let us go to Dave Umahi. Your own brother Peter Obi contested with Atiku under your own political party. You were in PDP, but you delivered Ebonyi State to APC against your own brother. Now you want to contest because you felt that should Peter Obi go and succeed and become VP to Atiku, after 8 years or thereabout, or after 4 years, Peter Obi will naturally succeed and become the president of the zoo, thereby spoiling your own chances. What did you do? What did you do, I ask? You campaigned against your own brother, against your own fellow Igbo brother. Now you're talking about Igbo presidency. I just want to prove to the world that these people are just criminals, a gang of thieves, all of them. Okay, so Carl, after campaigning against Ekwueme, all of them, do you know that the entire PDP caucus from the East never voted for Ekwueme? So they were asking themselves, how come your own brothers don't want to vote for you? Or Joseph Carlo was there. Some people are campaigning, yeah, he should be the president. But Ekwueme served Shagari very well. Never stole a dime. In fact, bankrolled MPN. He was a multi-millionaire and is very successful architect in the USA before he came back. Very wealthy man. Ekwueme. Ojo Zokalo, did you vote for Ekwueme in 1999? Now that you're campaigning for Igbo presidency, was Ekwueme running for Igbo presidency? Dave Umahi, Igbo presidency is our turn. When your brother Peter Obi was campaigning, did you campaign for him? Did you vote for him? Despite the fact that he is your brother in the same political party. That is why all this your nonsensical Igbo presidency is dead on arrival. When we were doing Biafra, did you support anybody? Instead, you called the army to come and kill us. And now you want us, you want to go to Abuja. You send their force now, they'll bring they'll bomb everybody to death. They are Igbo presidency, useless set of idiots, traitors and betrayers. Jim Nwobodo, in 1999 in Jos, you were speaking Hausa against your own brother. You were speaking Hausa. In Jos in 1999, you campaigned against your brother. Now you are talking about Igbo presidency. Oh, dear me. Igbo presidency, there, useless people. There is something I want to tell all of you. We hope, pray, and know that Biafra will come, or the zoo will be destroyed before 2023. Of course, everybody knows that. It's given. COVID-19 saved them last year, not save them again. This year, the vaccine is out. Instead of an Igbo man to be the president, or Yoruba for that matter, let Fulani continue. It is called Mina Mohu Onamana Yubu. Since you people prefer to be slaves, because if we allow any of you idiots to enter into Asarok, after about 4 or 5 years or 6, Fulani will take you back for eternity. You would have benefited from your own wickedness and evil. So you know what is going to happen? If Fulani are smart enough, they should continue. They saw what happened all over the world. The issue of election these days is just is given. It is no longer a big deal. As long as you're proclaimed the winner, that's it. If Fulani are very smart, they will continue in office. They will continue in the zoo, in their zoo. Of course, we are living. We're not going to stay there.